What's going on, everyone? Like Sports, back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the Toronto Blue Jays trade that happened today with the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Jays. This is a blockbuster trade by far, as the Toronto Blue Jays have traded their number one prospect and a top 10 prospect in all baseball. That is Gabriel Moreno, and they also traded Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who I really like personally. I really like Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I think he was a solid piece, but obviously just had some injury history and concerns, which obviously was tough, and it held him back from a lot, which was always concerning. There's no question about it. But the Jays are getting back Daulton Varsho, which is a great player in my opinion, and a guy who is a really good left-handed bat, and I think he's a piece that the Jays are really going to enjoy and use. He's 26 years of age, and he could play almost anywhere in the outfield. I think he played the majority of his time in center, but I think he could play left field no problem. And that's probably where the Jays are going to need him, with, of course, Kiermaier in center field and then Springer in right field. So I think Varsho will play in left field. But I think this trade happened because the Jays were obviously in on Mike Conforto. And this morning when he signed with the San Francisco Giants, I think the Jays used Daulton Varsho as a backup plan. Obviously Conforto's a better player than Varsho, in my opinion, at least. He doesn't have as much power, but I think he hits for a better average, and I think the defense is pretty similar. But both left-handed bats that the Jays needed, a left-handed outfield, a left-handed bat that's an outfielder, and obviously if the Jays can get him for free, why not? So I think that was their kind of plan of attack, try and get Conforto, but if you can't, then get Daulton Varsho. And I think that the Conforto thing, the Jays couldn't end up getting him. He signed with San Francisco. So then the Jays went on to the trade market and they got Daulton Varsho, who I think that makes sense. I mean, that the fact that we traded a catcher was always going to happen. Gabriel Moreno was really just never going to play here with the Jays as long as we had Alejandro Kirk, and as good as a prospect he is. Could we have gotten something better for Moreno? You could argue yes, but at the end of the day, you're getting a really good piece in Daulton Varsho, and I think for Moreno, who would never really play with the Jays because we have Kirk and Jansen, it makes sense. Getting into some of the stats and the statistics now, it's too early to say if the Jays won or lost the deal. I think this is a clear win now move for the Jays. That there's no question about. But looking at Varsho's stats, he had the best season of his career last year by far, I think. Although, you know what? He didn't play a lot of games in 2021, just 95. But that being said, he hit for 235 this past season in 151 games. And he had 27 homers and 74 RBI. So he does have some power. There's no question about that. He's got the power, and he's got the fielding. Obviously, he's a great defender. And that part, the Jays are really set for defense, I think, especially in that outfield, right? So that is good. But I don't think the Jays are done necessarily. I still think that they'll get a depth piece in that outfield, and I definitely think that they're going to get, I would think, one more starting pitcher and some relievers for sure, but we'll see about that. But Varsho is a guy who could, no problem, he could put up 25 to 30 home runs. You would like to, though, see that average go a little bit higher than 235. He hit for 246 in 2021. So if he can get back to somewhere near that, I think if he can hit 250 and hit 25 home runs, I think that is really good. That's about what Gurriel was giving you, right? And I think losing Teo and Gurriel means that we really need some help there and Varsho's going to really have to step it up. But that is hit the book on him. I like him as a player. I think he's really good. I think he's solid. He's 26 years of age, so the Jays control him for 3 years. He can't become a free agent for 3 years, which is very good. So that's all good with that. But now getting into Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who's 29 years of age, a little bit older, fan favorite, obviously, but he's had some tough time with injury. That is clear. He played 121 games last year. His average was great, 291. But his power was, not that the Jays need much more power, but they obviously hit 5 home runs. So that number you would obviously like to see up, especially from a guy like Gurriel. But, at the same time, the concern there with him is that you never know if he was going to leave or not, right? He was obviously eligible to become a free agent, I believe, after next season. So, that's a concern, and he would probably get paid a lot there. So, I think you're not, because of his injury history, it's not like you're losing too much, but you are losing a couple very valuable pieces. But for Gurriel, I think he can for sure be a 300 hitter, no question about it. So, yes, the Jays are losing a very good player and 2 valuable pieces, but they're getting a good one in Daulton Varsho. And at the same time, looking at Gabriel Moreno, like I said, he probably really wasn't going to play much. That, I think, is pretty evident. I think with the catching combination, I think this was all along kind of the catching combination the Jays that the Jays really liked. I think they always, they wanted to have Jansen and Kirk as that combination. So I think that makes it okay. But Moreno, 22 years of age, wouldn't become a free agent until 2029. But that he was good for us. He only played a few games, I believe, 25 games. He had 73 play appearances, but he was 319. He was able to show that potential, and he's going to get a shot with Arizona. He'll probably be the starter there. I think he should, and he's a flexible guy too. He could play in left field, so I'm a little bit surprised the Jays didn't try to experiment that. I think he played second base a bit with the Jays, so that is a bit interesting to me. I think they could have kept Moreno and kind of kept them in that outfield, but you never know. I think obviously you're getting a more experienced guy in the outfield, but Moreno's a guy who could definitely, over the course of his career as a catcher at 300, he's going to be the best catcher in the league one day, and this trade might look worse later on for the Jays, knowing what Gabriel Moreno could become. But that being said, the Jays are in a position where he really wouldn't have gotten much time to play, and they're in a win-now mode, so they had to trade one of their catchers, and I think if you're looking to win now, he's the one to trade. And that doesn't mean to salvage the future, but we still have a great prospect pool, like I've said, and we still got Vladdy, Bo, all these guys, Manoah, they're going to be here for a long time. Like in baseball, these guys are here for 10-plus years, so that's not a concern for me, but overall, this trade's tough to kind of tell. I think it's too early to tell. I'm not going to pick a winner or a loser for this trade, but I think the Jays do need to make some more moves. I think Varsho is a great addition to the lineup, much needed left-handed bat. And hopefully he's able to hit for 250 and 25 homers. That's what we're trying to get out of him, and that great defense. We'll see what happens. But you guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on this trade. Like I said, too early to say who won and lost. So I won't be picking one, but I do like the move for the Jays. I like it for the Diamondbacks too from their perspective. I think it works for both teams looking at the direction that the two teams are going. But you guys let me know the good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys all in the next video, and as always, let's go Blue Jays.